The AutoSum button, found on the Home tab off to the right side and found on the Formulas tab off to the left side, is extremely valuable in building formulas. And probably out of all the operations performed on different worksheets, sum is probably the most commonly used function. A particular example might be in this worksheet. In cell G2, we simply want to get a total of the numbers off to the left. We'll click AutoSum. We see the display, and we press Enter. We can also do this in columns. The AutoSum button is designed to add data from above or from the left. But we can also select the data ahead of time, and this means we only need to click AutoSum once, and the total will appear below this automatically. Sometimes we've got a situation where we want totals on the right side and below, maybe just one side at first. If we want a total here, we can simply press AutoSum. And by the way, there's also a keystroke shortcut. It's Alt equal. We could use that. We want totals down here. Maybe we'll use Alt equal instead. It's just a question whether your hands are on the keyboard or not. Alt equal also puts in totals that way. And pressing Control Z here to undo those last two actions, you could have a situation where from the beginning you knew that you wanted totals on the right side and on the bottom. Highlight the cells in this manner and either press AutoSum or Alt equal. Either way, you'll get totals on the right side and on the bottom that way. Now, you could have a situation where you want to add up data from above. I'm going to take out this total, just move this downward, and you can override the way AutoSum is about to calculate data. If we click here and use AutoSum, AutoSum will look upward for data first, and it's about to add that data. We don't want it to do that, so we'll simply take the mouse and highlight this data. In other words, redirect what AutoSum is about to do. And we can certainly do that too. And if you had a situation back at this data here where we simply wanted a grand total but didn't want any interim totals, we could put it here, we could put it there. We could simply press AutoSum, and then regardless of what it's highlighting, we'll redirect it to highlight just these cells. Also, when you're using AutoSum, you can highlight cells from different locations. If we somehow wanted to add up that data, comma, as well as the data over there in columns B, we could certainly do that too. Comma, and if it involved using another value somewhere, a value of 200, we can certainly do that. So regardless of the context, we can build and use the sum function in a variety of ways. Now, not so well known is the fact that AutoSum has a drop arrow to its right on the Formulas tab, and on the Home tab, it's got a drop arrow to the right as well. And suppose, for example, in this worksheet here, maybe we just wanted to do, instead of a total on top, we want to do an average right here. So we'll click the drop arrow for AutoSum, choose average, and it's about to do an average for us. We'll click Enter. And all the other examples here where we used sum, we could easily have used average as well. Recognize the drop arrow only gives us a few choices. It gives us a max for maximum, a min for minimum. But it is handy at times to be able to get to these different tools simply by clicking the drop arrow that we see there. And here's a particular kind of situation that you'll want to be aware of. It's an oddity, but if we're about to add up these hours and minutes, we'll use AutoSum, and we know that's not correct. If you highlight these cells here, you can see in the formula bar at the bottom that they add up to 27 hours and 38 minutes. 338, do the math in our heads, that's 24 hours short of what it should be. So if you are adding up times, which you'll need to do here, a quick right click, go to Format Cells, and then in the time category, use the option that has a 37 in it. That certainly isn't intuitive, but you can see what it's about to display up above here, 27:38. And we could click OK and get a correct answer there. And if you didn't need the double zeros at the end there, you could go back and, by way of Format Cells, then jump into Custom and take out the remaining seconds that are there, which we wouldn't need since they're just hours and minutes. So we could do that as well too. If you want to do an average here of this data, then again, you could take advantage of average and then redirect the cells to be average. In other words, we wouldn't want to include cell K9 there, but all the cells above it. So we can drag that corner as soon as we see the diagonal there. We can then just highlight this data here and then simply press Enter to get an average of those cells. And then probably in this case here, line it up on the right side. So the AutoSum button and its drop arrow gives us quick ways for using commonly needed mathematical tools, mostly addition, but also average, sometimes maximum, sometimes minimum.